you're kind of stuck with what happened on the night. And what happened on that night was pretty ugly. My first encounter with the Happy Mondays was February 1989. I was taking live shots at a gig. The location was ULU, the University of London Union. I was working, not being paid, but working for the London Student, a kind of organisation that helped train the future writers and photographers. There was masses of smoke, and out of this fog, this mist, the whirling arms of Bez with his maracas. It was mesmerising, alongside Sean and his sneering delivery. Looking at the pictures now, it looks like I got on stage with them. They're a lot better than I remember. They were shot on an old Nikon, and I uprated the film to 3200 ASA, which meant I could get by with very, very little light. Now, 1989 was a really good year. Actually got my first serious girlfriend. Bought a flat. Things were coming together. I went from being a complete amateur and sort of playing at it to 7 months after my first shoot with the Happy Mondays, getting the opportunity to photograph them for the cover of the NME. I had regular clients, sort of quite humdrum trade magazines, which sort of helped me pay my bills. And then in parallel with that, I had relationships with the NME. So my heart was full of joy when I got the opportunity to photograph the Happy Mondays for a cover. But little did I know, as I sort of boarded the train to Manchester, that this was going to end in abject failure. I was stymied before I even started. Unlike the other photographers at the NME, a lot of them anyway, I was determined to shoot on medium format. I wanted the extra quality. And with that in mind, I couldn't afford a Hasselblad. I used my Rolleiflex twin lens reflex. And this model, it's the same one I used to photograph the Happy Mondays. It's got the 2.8 planar lens. It's extremely good quality and fine if you have very controlled, intimate shoot with somebody during the day, and you can just one person on their own. But trying to photograph the Happy Mondays in the factory dry bar, which is the location that was chosen, on a Friday night, effectively a nightclub, I was really going to struggle. To make things worse, I was shooting on color transparency. I think the NME preferred that back then. It was cheaper. But it means that you give the originals to the magazine. It isn't like there's a negative that you can interpret and you can pretty up the poor results that you got in the darkroom. You're kind of stuck with what happened on the night. And what happened on that night was pretty ugly. I didn't have an assistant then. I was only 23. So I was hyper vigilant about my equipment. I was effectively in a public space and I had no idea where my equipment was in relation to shooting. I couldn't concentrate. It was extremely stressful. And you add to that the fact that you're photographing a rabble like the Happy Mondays and they're all on drugs. I mean, there's no other way to put it. You're going to struggle. I plugged my light in behind the bar and I attempted to light with quite an underpowered studio light 7 or 8 people. Apart from Sean and Bez, I didn't even know the names of the people I was photographing. The pumping music was adding to the stress. They couldn't have heard what I was saying, even if they weren't on drugs. And when the odd word did get through, they paid scant regard to my instructions. I was completely sober. I was trying to be professional, and all around me was chaos. Eventually, I came to the conclusion that I would have to let the others go and just photograph Sean with Bez. I think it's really important to talk about these shoots, because it's really easy on this channel for me to pontificate and show you, my highlight reel and give you a false impression. And actually, it's these sorts of shoots that you learn from. Sober and anxious, I sort of made my way back to the hotel, concerned that I probably would never get another job for the NME. I didn't need to develop the film to know that I'd got nothing. And it was really depressing. And I was also sort of questioning myself, because I aspired to taking pictures that were beautiful, that were composed, that were lit, that were kind of a wonderful confection. And maybe I should have been like the writer, Jack Barron. He went on the town with the band. He stayed up all night. After finishing my portrait, my lit portrait, maybe I should have taken my equipment back to the hotel and then just picked up a compact camera, got wasted, and documented the excess, the debauchery. I mean, maybe, but I'm not that type of photographer. But having said that, I do have some regrets. And in time, I did buy a Leica and see my portraits as an opportunity to sometimes document pictures that are more fly on the wall, that are more kind of genuine moments. And some of those pictures that I've taken with the Leica, I like more than the big portraits that were taken on medium format. Anyway, it wouldn't be long before I'd get the opportunity to photograph Sean again and put that right and get something that I was happy with.